Hey guys, so I'm just bringing you a little short video to mention the update that was released today. So they released two updates. Well, the main one was just a game engine fix to support some of the changes to the game engine that'll make it easier for future updates. So nothing major, it shouldn't affect us really, so there's no major things with that. However, they didn't make a news post for this update, what they've done. And I didn't even stick it in recent game updates, but if you go to recent updates, there's a thread called Game Update 19th of April, and it's written by Mod Ash, so you can also search Mod Ash and you'll find the thread. So he's just listed a few changes, and I don't know why he didn't stick it, or why he hasn't, because it's been on the second page quite a few times, but there's just a few little changes. It's kind of like the patch notes, but a bit bigger, and so they've changed the Dungeoneering, so you know how you couldn't see the keys, like I mentioned last week in my update video on that? You can now see the keys, and I'm going to show you it in the dungeon in a minute. The other thing, which is probably quite a major change, is the fact that the frequency of Slayer creatures in Dungeoneering has been increased. This means you're going to see more Soul Gazers, more Night Spiders, more Eddy moves. Basically, the chance of getting a Hex Bow, or a Blood Necklace, or a Shadow Silk Hood, or any of them items has been increased, and they're now more common. Now, it obviously doesn't say by how much, and that's a major change in my opinion, but I'm going to discuss that later when I get into the dungeon. And they've changed they've done a few map fixes. So if you didn't notice, there's a big massive glitch south of Remington where the map just randomly stuck out for no reason, and just a few other bug fixes, and also a bug fix to the font used in the OMGE. Does anyone have a damn clue what OMGE means? I can't see it anywhere else on this page what OMGE means. So, not a clue. So, post in the comments if you know what OMGE means and thumbs it up so I can see. And so that's basically how else. And Mod Ash just says he's filling in for Modesty because Modesty's away on a training course. So that's just a summary of the changes that they've thrown in with the update for the game engine. And so I'm going to go into a floor. I've already set up a floor. I'm going to just go in and show the little changes that they've done. So just pick a small. And as you can see, next to your deaths, there's a new icon called Current Keys, and it says none. However, there's a silver triangle there, so I'm going to pick it up. And as you see, there's now a tiny picture of a silver triangle. Now, I love this. I like this interface. It is really good. However, what part I don't like is the fact it's too small. I think it needs to be a bit bigger. More like inventory icon size. Maybe a tiny bit smaller than that, but similar to your icons in your inventory, because that's a bit small. I was hoping possibly able to drag the interface, you know, like the Squeal of Fortune, how you get the little Squeal of Fortune icon, you can drag it around, move it where you want. I thought that would be pretty cool if you could do that with your keys, but oh well. I guess it's just been a quick fix since the update only came out last week. Didn't have much time to code an interface, and didn't put it on the Squeal tab like a few people asked for as well. That would have been quite cool, but oh well. This is going to solve the problem really, and it's a pretty nice fix. I mean, this really helps. And so as you can see as well, last week when I showed you the update, you got a bright yellow message that said your party has found a key. And the problem with that was, if you went on fixed mode, the screen was way too light and you could not read the text whatsoever. So the other changes is the Slayer spawns. So I'm just going to grab this key here. So as you can see, it goes next to it. And I'm not sure how many it takes to go down a row, or if it just keeps going across. I'm going to try and get as many keys as I can. So the other change is the Slayer spawns. So about the Slayer spawns is the fact that obviously have been increased. We don't know how much yet, but my problem is the fact that it's going to increase the amount of hexes people have. And currently I'd say about, in World 67 at least, I'm not sure about the lower world because obviously very, very few people will have it in like World 77. But in World 67, which is the main DJing world, because there is where you go to 120 basically. If you're getting 120, you'll be DJing in World 67. So that's basically the majority of DJers. And I'd say about 15 to 20% people have a hex already. That's just approximate. It's not accurate. And I'd probably say about 10% have a surge box, and the rest have laws. Right, let's get a fourth key and see if it goes down. Oh no, it's still going across. And that just jumped to the front. Orange shield, a silver triangle. No idea why that just jumped to the front there. But, oh well, jumped to the front. It doesn't make any sense because it's not alphabetical order. I'm trying to work it out, because gold would be at the front. Oh well. So, I guess they've got to be that size if they're just going across, but surely they go down. I've got to use a key now, so that spells it. But the Slayer spawns, like, as I said, about 15% of people have a hex-ish, and currently that's reasonable. That's about one every team really. On average, somebody has a hex, and obviously you get the teams where like 3 or 4 people have a hex, and it's you really notice stuff there. But 102 mining, what a joke! And I don't want it to become the point that everyone has a hex. Like I don't like that, because the surge box and having laws is very useful. Laws speed up C1s dramatically, and surge boxes make larges a lot faster, because there's forgotten warriors which are really high melee and range defense, and you pretty much need mage to kill them, and the only effective way to hit mage is having a surge box. So that kind of is needed. And also, if you noticed, it also has a new message saying your party's used a key. I've got one complaint about that, is the fact that it's the same colour. It's a bit confusing, I can imagine, for some people. And I have seen a few posts on the forum saying that's confusing, but overall I like the idea that it comes up saying you've used a key, but maybe not too much needed now that I added the interface. Now before, it was probably needed the fact that you couldn't tell when somebody had used a key. It's quite nice to know when your team's used a key, etc. But now it just says it at the top, as you see, because you've got the keys there, and when one disappears, it's being used, obviously, because there's no other way to get rid of it. So I guess it's not really needed to have the key messages, but it's there, and I guess it's kind of reasonable. It might be a bit confusing when you see that message and you say, oh, they've picked up the green pentagon, but in fact they haven't, they've used it. But that interface makes it a lot easier. It's gonna basically, it's fixed the problem that the update caused last week, and you should really now see, even in the low DG world, in World 77, not sure if there's any other lower DG worlds, but in World 77 you're really going to see an increase in floor times, I imagine, because this is really going to help the most people to be better at dungeoneering in general, because it doesn't take as much skill to be great. Like before this update, it took a lot of thinking and skill to be good, and now it's going to be a lot easier for the average person to be faster at dungeoneering. So if there's never been a better time to get a chaotic, so I certainly recommend going to get one. I don't know if I should be crushing this boss. I don't want to die again. I should have used the portal at base. I didn't realise I was on higher than a C2 or something. But yeah, hopefully I don't see it. There's not too much of an increase in hexes, because I imagine I haven't increased the rate of the gazers too much. I hope it's less than 10%ish, and that'll be reasonable. But in my eyes, a better way to solve the problem because the main reason of the problem is that if you listen to the Mod Chris L podcast, he pretty much said like he didn't like how people could get 120 dungeoneering and not get the binds they wanted effectively. So in my eyes, what they should have done, if and only if you get 120 dungeoneering, you can buy the binds. So from the rewards trader for say 1 mil a hex or 500k tokens for a blood necklace, if you get what I mean. And only if you 120, put a GG requirement on that, because this would stop people just getting a hex at any level, and it would solve the problem in the way that he didn't want people less than 120 to get a hex, or people to get 120 and not get the binds they want, as I should say. But oh well, and I guess that's all I want to talk about in this video, and I hope that's summed up the little changes they've done for you. If you didn't really notice there was an update, because they didn't really announce it anywhere, and I know a lot of people don't read the forums. So obviously the main change is the keys, and it's really going to help dungeoneering. As you can see, the little icons, I really like them. But it should also make getting a hood for lower levels a lot easier, because night spiders already show up frequently, and for them to show up even more should really help. So good luck on getting whatever binds you want, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.